Are you ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Yo, this is No Comment. My name is Akil, and I have the fucking amazing Lacy Noel. I'm sorry for putting your government name out there, but Lacy, the queen of the Andos, the breaker of chains, the mother of dragons, the protector of the realm. What other shit does she have?
Everything else.
Everything else. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
I am
This
honored
is your
to be
first
here.
time.
I know.
Are you excited?
I am honored.
Are you nervous?
I'm a little nervous.
Don't
but
be
I'm
nervous. It's fucking
more
amazing.
excited.
For the people that don't know, Bryma is obviously a nerd for Game of Thrones, hence why he was on my last episode. But Lacy's a bigger nerd. You're a bigger nerd than I am. Like, I think we could compete on who's more of a geek when it comes to Game of Thrones.
I think
We're
so,
about to
too.
test it out today.
Yeah.
Breaking down these episodes. So you watched episode 2. We're gonna go through scene by scene, literally every single little thing that happens. Give me like a quick overview of what you thought about the episode.
I thought it was a great episode, and I think a lot of people are still just really upset that it was a second episode without a death or without some kind of action. And I feel like it was a love letter to all of the characters that we love, and all the characters sort of are now in Winterfell, and they're now, ready to take on something that they've been talking about the entire series. And I feel like they had to really give us that comic relief and that, put those characters up on those arcs and give us that suspension and leave us hanging, because the next episode's going to be absolute batshit.
Exactly. What you said earlier is very true. So it's a lot of love letter, but it's more so like you'll see a lot of relationships building only for it to be a tragedy when the battle starts. So they're really just trying to like build up this like thing for the viewers where you get really close to Missandei and Grey Worm's love, and you get close to Jon and Dany's love, even though that's already fallen apart. And definitely Jaime and Brienne's love, only for one of them in those couples to die or something like that, so that you cry.
At least one of them in each of those that we saw.
But yeah, a lot of dialogue, so let's fucking break this shit down. First scene. So Jaime's in trial. Dany said his brother would tell her stories of the man who killed her father, and Jaime is here in front of her, which is something that you would never expect. And also, Jaime was like, yeah, listen, Cersei's not going to show up to this, to help you guys in Winterfell. And it's really funny because immediately Dany looks at Tyrion. he gives him that death stare. Just the relationships in general. It's like you have to watch the entire series all in one night to really understand how important it is for Jaime of all people to be in that room, because of all the relationships and all the people that he's fucked up or fucked over. Yeah. Right? Like what's one example? Like Dany and Jaime. Dany's father was killed by Jaime Lannister, right? Because he's the Kingslayer. I mean, I wouldn't really say with
Didn't
Sansa.
she bring that up?
Yeah. Because so there was that one scene where before Ned was put on trial, Jaime would come. He like came in. I think he was like outside of a brothel or something like that. Yeah. And Jaime like attacked Ned, and then I think that's when he like took him to put him in the jail cell, ready for trial. And then Tyrion. That's not really anything that Jaime did. Tyrion killed Jaime's, their father. But that's tension in there as well. The funny thing that I noticed was that, despite Sansa and what he did to Dany, he wouldn't apologize at all. He was like, listen, I'm not going to apologize because, Ned was put on trial for treason, and Dany's father was a fucking crazy-ass mad king who was trying to kill everybody, so I'm not going to apologize for that. But immediately, when he sees Bran, he apologizes for pushing him out of the window, right? And, like, we talked about this before, where it was like everybody has an arc, everybody has a storyline. In this season alone, this is the main season where we're all as viewers trying to figure out what everybody's storyline is. Where do they start? What was their journey like? And where are they going to end off for them to, I guess, die peacefully in a way?
If that's it, yeah.
If that's it. I don't really what would you say is Jaime's storyline? Like, how would he redeem himself? I don't think there's anything.
No, I know, like, back to that Cersei thing too about the prophecy and how she was going to be killed by, her younger brother. Yep. Like, tying that in, I really think the only way that he would live on, hypothetically, is that theory that he's going to die, Arya is going to take his face and go kill Cersei. So it's technically Jaime killing her, but it's also Arya killing her. So if it's not the Night King.
This is all starting to make sense, because if Jaime dies because of what Jaime said, I'm going to die in the hands of my lover. If he dies in Brienne's arms, that's already going to be sad as it is. But that gives Arya leeway to take his face
fulfill
and go
one
kill
of her,
Cersei.
cross off a name on her list.
Yep.
And then technically, you know, Jamie, her dying because of her younger brother.
Nobody really thought about this, but I'll bring it up again at the end of the episode. But like when those line of White Walkers showed up, first of all, I didn't even know there was that many White Walkers. Right? Because there's whites and White Walkers.
Over, what's the name of that where Umber was?
Oh, Last Hearth.
Yeah.
No, but those are whites. So there's a difference. There's the zombies, which are the whites that they could raise, but then there's the White Walkers.
Right.
Right? I don't
You're
think
talking about the men in the front?
Yeah.
With the hair?
I didn't know there was like fucking 30 of them.
That nice ass hair.
Yeah. I think the first time we ever saw like the one with the long hair was when Sam saw him.
He almost looked cloned. Because you know how each of them sort of had their own appearance? But now they all look exactly the same with just that long white hair.
So do you know how those White Walkers are made? Like, you know what really distinguishes them, how they're made versus how the whites are made?
Tell me.
So this is where our nerd battle starts.
Yeah, this is it.
So, okay, so you know how Craster, the freaking weirdo Craster who like fucks his daughters and shit. So when he gives off the babies to the Night King, those babies were turned into the White Walkers. And then anybody that dies and then they get raised from the dead, those are whites. Those are like the mindless zombie shits. But the real question is like,
how many babies did he have?
That's not even what I'm trying to say.
No, I know.
Craster's dead now. But like, the thing is, the thing about Craster giving those babies is that anybody that wanted to make peace with the White Walkers and they didn't want to get fucking killed off would give babies.
Right.
So it would make a lot of sense that other wildlings were doing the same thing. Because if the White Walkers were showing up and they're like, yo, I'm about to kill you. And they're like, no, take this baby. I would assume that everybody would want to do that. So that's what I'm assuming is that over these years, since like, season 5 or whatever, for them to get all the White Walkers is just a bunch of wildlings and whoever else is like Craster that's giving all these babies and stuff like that. But yeah, at the end of the episode, what I'm trying to say is I didn't see the Night King. I didn't hear the ice dragon screeching in the scene. So I'm assuming that he took a detour and he was like, yeah, deuces. Like he was like, yeah, I'm not going to this Winterfell shit. Like I'm going to King's Landing, raising more whites over there, probably killing off Cersei's army and then possibly attacking Cersei. I don't know.
I feel like if she dies by Night King, that would just be very anticlimactic.
Like, yeah, it would be pretty uneventful.
A lot of people would be unhappy.
Yeah. I mean, for me, either way she dies. She could literally jump off a cliff and die, and I'd be like, yes. Yes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't see him. So like this whole plan that Bran is trying to do with trying to like lure the Night King over to the Godswood, like the Weirwood tree.
Yeah.
Is not gonna work out. Like Theon is the only one there that's protecting Bran and shit, and they think that they're gonna lure the Night King, and then they notice that nobody's gonna come.
And that was something that was highlighted too, I would say, like a lot, is that they have this master plan and they spent all this time around this table crafting this plan, like the angles and, you know, who's going to be where sort of thing. And if the Night King just flies straight over them, it ruins everything and they're really just at war for no reason. You know, like there's no end goal really there if they can't get to the Night King.
Remember when I texted you earlier today and I was like, yo, like, if you remember that one scene like in season 4 or 5 when she was in Karth and the warlock stole her baby and made her do all these like hallucinogenic shit, and then she walks in, she goes through a door trying to find her dragons and then walks into the Iron Throne room, which was like the ceiling was all broken, the snow was coming in, and it was just a throne sitting there, everything is destroyed all over.
Imagine.
Do you think that's foreshadow for what the Night King is about to do? If he's going to King's Landing, he's burning everything.
Yeah.
I would assume that's what that scene is, if it has some sort of, you know, significance in any way.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think like the craziest thing about it too is that we don't know what the ice dragon is really capable of.
Right.
You know, like if it's, then that was something too, like last season, like it's a white now, so like is it, or like a, you know, it's part of the White Walkers now, so is its power, like you were saying too, like with the dragons in general, like why can't they just go in there and fuck everything up? I mean, we don't know, well, one, Bran, and we'll probably get to this later, but you know, we don't know exactly what that thing is capable of.
Right.
Is it actual fire? Like, is it, you know what I mean? So it's an interesting...
Oh, are you saying like what the ice dragon itself can do?
Yeah.
I'm not even going to test it, because if that motherfucker could take down the wall, which is supposed to be this magical thing.
Yeah, so I guess it is fire then, because that wall was pretty much ice.
Bruh, it's probably not even just fire. It's probably like some crazy fire. Like
probably
some
wild
fire
times
mixed
10. Yeah.
That's the thing. Why don't they use wildfire for anything? I get it. So going through these scenes, right? There's gonna be a lot of times where I'm gonna be like, why don't they fucking just use the dragons? Using dragons in Game of Thrones is like using a fucking nuclear weapon.
Right.
Like, it's past using bullets.
Yeah.
Past using, like, you have 2 fucking dragons.
And we saw that in the episode with the loot train.
Yes.
But that was only one dragon.
Yes.
And
that was just one dragon. No, not even. That's a great example. But there's also the example of when Jon was stuck over the wall. Yeah. She brought 3 of her dragons and fucked it up.
But
you know what I mean?
What's crazy about it too, though, is that, I mean, if those dragons see each other, you know, like, what if the 2 dragons see?
I mean, they're technically brothers.
Yeah. So like, how is that gonna go down?
Yeah.
Is Daenerys gonna be on Drogon? Like, it's like, how is this all gonna play out?
And Dany hasn't seen that dragon yet.
She only just found out, and we didn't really get much of a reaction when she did find out. I guess we got more of a reaction out of her, you know, when it died.
Yeah. Yeah, that was so sad.
That was devastating.
That was so fucking sad. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty interesting. Like, I don't know if the dragons, you know, given that they're brothers, are gonna be like, hey, we don't want to hurt you.
I know.
And then the ice dragon like fucking attacks them. You know what I mean? God.
Or unless the Night King throws one of those javelins. Spears. All right, let's move on. Going back to Jaime in trial, Brienne stands up for him because, you know, Brienne secretly loves him. And she's like, yeah, listen, look, like, he lost his hand because he, you know, protected me from getting raped by those guys and stuff like that. And I think you should really trust him. I think he's a changed man. And Dany's, like, really hesitant about it. Sansa's like, okay, I trust Brienne, which means I'm going to trust Jaime. And then Dany looks over to Jon, and Jon's like, yeah, listen, we need every man we can get, you know, whether you got one arm or not. So, yeah, fine, like, we'll let him go. And they get up and they leave. Dany looks at Jon real quick, and then Jon's like, like, dips. Yeah. And I get that. I mean, because, you know, because last episode he found out that that's his aunt. So he's probably like, yo, like, that. How do I tell my girlfriend that she's my aunt, bro? You know what I mean? So he's like trying to avoid her as much as possible. I feel like that's a really trying moment for Daenerys as well, because I feel like ever since she's arrived in Winterfell, there's just been drama. No agreement. Like, there's just been so much tension. And I think, like, even in that scene too, like, she realizes something is off with Jon. Yeah. And she starts realizing that she just can't snap her fingers and get what she wants. Yeah. You know, like, these people are Northerners. They're not gonna agree with her. They're not gonna just cave in because she, you know, feels that she's entitled to the throne. And it's really funny because, like, you know, throughout this entire series, Dany was looked at as, you know, the queen, like the slave queen of Meereen, and, you know, the queen of Karth and queen of all these different places, and she was just the one queen with the dragons. Right. But now she's in a situation where not everybody is like looking at Dany as the ultimate higher queen. She got competition now. Sure. You know, like, she got Sansa, she got Jon, and I feel like that is probably getting to her a little bit. I think she's realizing she's not used to it. She's losing control. She's losing control. Yeah, she has a lot of competition now. Yeah, and then Dany and Tyrion have this little thing because Tyrion's been fucking up a lot lately. And Dany's like, listen, I might need to find another hand. Jorah's there right behind them. You know, that made me think is like I said, going back to the arc thing. Like, what is Tyrion's arc? Because his entire storyline in the very beginning was like, he was looking for, you know, love, you know, through, like, you know, prostitutes and stuff. He was looking for love, and he was looking for power, and through, like, his family wealth and stuff like that. Like, that was his whole thing, was he would have sex with girls trying to find love through prostitutes. And, you know, he had his family name behind him with all this money and power and wealth and stuff like that. But now, you know, he killed off Shay, which was the love of his life. He killed off his father, so now he doesn't really have any royalty backing him up. And, you know, he kind of, like, let himself go and gave his support to this foreigner, Dany. And he's fucking that up too. So it's like, where is he going and how is he going to redeem himself? I feel like one thing with him, though, is that he's never really known true love. Like, his family hated him his entire life. You know, so how is he supposed to, like, fully commit to someone and fully give himself to somebody, even if it is on that, you know, a relationship between him and Dany, you know, professionally we'll call it, but he doesn't understand that. He doesn't know how to I mean, not even just love through family, but if you remember, like, his first love was a prostitute. Right. But the thing is, Tywin paid that prostitute to, you know, be with Tyrion only for, you know, I guess him to get caught. Not technically caught, because Tywin paid the prostitute to fake love Tyrion. And then he made Tyrion watch as she got freaking gangbanged and then killed off. So, like, he is scarred. And then he finds Shay.
And even Shay, we obviously find out at the very end that she didn't really care for Tyrion because she was just getting paid.
Right.
That was really fucked up because I actually thought Shay loved Tyrion.
Right.
Imagine being Tyrion in that situation. You know, for a second time, you finally find this love, and you find out that she's fucking your father because you stopped paying her, and he's paying her better. So, like, he's just all the way fucked up in terms of love.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't even have money. So, you know, so he's just all over the place.
So what's left?
Like, where does the story end?
How is he supposed to? He can't even being in the crypts. I mean, we all know where that's gonna go.
Yeah.
So
no, seriously, like Tyrion is one of the, if not the main character next to Dany and Jon.
Yeah.
So trying to figure out if Jon has this purpose of being the king of the North, Dany has this purpose of getting to the throne. What the fuck is Tyrion doing? And where is his head at right now? And he's fucking up a lot. So
I think that's like one thing they reiterate with him a lot, though, is that he's the brains. You know, he's the smart. If he can't be a fighter and he can't be a knight and defend everybody on the battlefield, then, you know, what if there's nothing left? Then what is he to do?
And I don't know if he said that or if it was the director in like the, you know, inside the episode things. But even they were like, listen, even intelligent people overestimate their intelligence.
Yeah.
At one point or another.
But I feel like that's something that we've seen with him every single time that he's fucked up. Messed up because he overestimated himself. He was a little too confident in himself, and it got him to where he is now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to find out. Then we got Gendry and Arya's first scene, because there's a second scene that I covered my eyes for. I don't want to fucking watch that. That scarred me for life, bro. She's like 9 years old. Like, Jesus Christ. Gendry looks like he's easily 25. And she still looks like she's 13, bro.
He looks... First off, in this first scene, the camera goes to Gendry, and he's just buttoned down. Glossed up.
Oh, Arya wet,
like
bro.
A
she
snack.
was just staring at him.
She was like a snack.
So the thing is, I was talking to Brahman about this, is like, I didn't know Arya and Gendry were into each other. Like, their entire storyline of them hanging out and all that stuff, I didn't know they were into each other. I thought they were just friends.
Yeah, I saw it the same way, too, especially in season 2. With everything they went through together.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the closest that she's ever gotten to flirting with somebody. And again, like, that's really all that she's ever known, because who else?
She obviously has feelings for him, but this is the only person she's ever had feelings for ever.
Right.
You know? So, I mean, that's pretty interesting. Honestly, if not Gendry, then who?
Exactly.
Like, what, Hot Pie?
Exactly.
Like,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You know what I mean? So yeah, she's asking for her, like, special staff weapon thing. And so she's asking Gendry about, like, yo, what are the whites like? Like, what are they like? And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it, because, you know, I don't want you to fight them. They're pretty scary. And she's like, no, like, seriously, what are they like? Like, what do they walk like? What do they sound like? And he's like, do you really want to know? They're death. They resemble death. And honestly, who knows death better than Arya? Arya is the face of death, and she knows death, and death has many faces, and then she hurls 3 fucking dragonstone daggers at the wall perfectly with accurate precision, which I don't know if this was mentioned or shown in the training with the Faceless Men, but like, since when was Arya so perfect at everything? I literally wrote a list
part of it.
Of all the shit that she could do. She could fight in the dark. She could fucking shoot bow and arrows perfectly. She could fucking detect lies. She could fucking use faces. She could fucking slit Littlefinger's throat so perfectly. She could literally fight better than Brienne. She could survive stab wounds from the waif. Like, she could literally go to Bravos and come. Bruh, like, is she just like overpowered for no reason, or like what? But that brings me to that point, is like, if you've seen that trailer with her in the crypts running for her life. That's interesting, because it's like Arya up until now is like seen as this like, she's never gonna lose. She's not scared of shit.
Right.
She's the face. She's death. But then you see her freaking out running through the crypt. So it's like,
you see fear.
You see
on her face.
Genuine fear in her face. So I that would be really interesting to know what that is about.
But that's one thing too. Did you see anything about the weapon that she had asked for?
Yeah, was it like a detachable staff or something?
Yeah, it's like the style of weapon that the waif used. Remember that giant pole that she would whip around her fingers and smack her with?
Except like this thing had what, though?
That.
It
had the double
edge,
and you could pull it apart. So I wonder if she...
Cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So now she has all 3, right? Needle, the Valyrian steel sword, or the dagger.
Yeah.
And now this staff thing.
Yeah.
But I wonder, do you think she's just going to be in the crypts?
Lit.
Yeah.
No, I don't think she's gonna be in the crypt. I think she's gonna. Well, obviously we know that scene, the trailer of her in the crypts.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to figure out what that is about. Either it's like whites make their way down to the crypts, or
and
they bring the dead back or some shit like that.
Yeah.
No, but I think she's actually gonna be up on the front lines fighting, like
so
the way
too.
the Hound is and stuff like that. So
it's interesting to think that though, and then see that trailer of her.
Yeah, it's like how did she end up
there?
Yeah, how did you end up there? But I think that was bound to happen though. Like Sam is supposed to be protecting Gilly and stuff, and he's like, listen, I fought White Walkers. And I think he's going to be tested. He's going to be like, yo, fine, I'll stay in the crypts. And then they all somehow
but he has
get
nothing.
in contact with that.
He's going to have one of those. Yeah, so I really wonder.
Yeah.
Gilly doesn't need protecting.
Yo, Gilly is a boss, but Little Sam does though. I don't know why, but like Cephas always makes fun of Little Sam. So like we always say that. It's mad annoying. But yo, that boy is grown, man. Jesus, Little Sam ain't no little.
Where
no
does
more,
the
man.
time go?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, Jesus, we waited 2 goddamn years for 1 season, so that boy better fucking grow. I swear to God, if he's still a baby, I'd be like, yo, what the fuck? All right, cool. So next scene is Jamie and Bran. This is a great fucking scene because I don't even think they've ever really met.
No.
They never really talked other than him grabbing him on the tower and then saying, this is the thing I do for love. Push him off. Which is also what Bran said in the trial.
Yeah.
And then he also said chaos is the ladder, which is what Littlefinger says before he dies. So Bran is like this fucking, parrot, apparently. But it's interesting because Jamie immediately, like the second he sees Bran, he's like, I'm really sorry for pushing you off the window. But the first thing I thought about is like, Jamie being Jamie, who's like this asshole, arrogant, fucking guy, gold hair, like coming in, he's just a douchebag, would never apologize to anyone about anything. Hence, Dany and Sansa.
Much worse than that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But here, Bran, like you could see Jamie isn't really at the end of being like this super humble guy, but you can see he's on the journey of being more humble and more selfless than before. Through Brienne, learning through Brienne.
Think?
Oh, absolutely. I think Jamie's entire change in personality and character is through Brienne and all the shit he went through with Brienne. And I think part of that humbleness came when he got his hand cut off too. I think. Yeah. Just like it's like the cherry on top of his humbleness. It was Brienne teaching him how to be like a more just man, and then him getting his hand cut off was kind of like, this is what I get for being an asshole. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Literally, that's what that is.
I thought it was really interesting too because, like, you really, Jamie was so sorry, but Bran, he's not Bran anymore, but he clearly doesn't care. He's really not fazed by it now.
He looks like he's past it, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Bran says something really important to him. He's like, if that never happened, you wouldn't be who you are today, and neither would I.
Yes, absolutely.
So I thought that was huge.
Yeah.
Because they really would not be here, and they wouldn't have lived the lives that they lived.
Yes, absolutely. And then also he was like, what we said earlier is Jamie was like, yo, how come you didn't tell them about me pushing you off the window? And he was like, listen, you would have died.
Yeah.
And I just, it's not that I'm against you or with you or anything, but like we could honestly, like what John said, we could use all the men that we have. And what's the point of you getting executed and then losing one less person to fight with?
Too much to worry about.
But the one thing is like, what's pissing me off about Bran lately is that Jamie was like, after he asked that, Jamie's like, so like, what about afterwards? Meaning like, are you going to tell them after the war and stuff? And then Bran's like, how do you know that there isn't afterwards? And I'm just kind of like, isn't Bran supposed to be like this fucking vision, all, I know everything, memory, past, present, and future, and distant future guy? And then what is up with him being so vague and not telling the good guys what's going on? Like, and then him just saying, how do you know there isn't afterward? Is like him, even Bran questioning or making us question that they're not going to live. And it's like, if that's the case, then why the fuck are you guys planning this entire thing? Like, why not just sit there and wait for the Night King to come and fuck you guys up? You know what I mean?
Well, what good would it be if he told them?
That they're all going to die?
Yeah. I mean, what good would that be? And if he knows the future, it could be favorable. And maybe he doesn't want to say anything because it might alter it.
That's what I was thinking too. That's what I was thinking is like him being as vague as possible is him just being like this, Machiavelli guy who's like, death is gonna come and I don't want to change any alter future. Like if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I want to keep it as vague as possible.
Yeah, because as soon as John knows or somebody knows how this is all gonna play out,
they're gonna do something different.
It's gonna have a completely different outcome. So maybe Bran does know, but maybe he's being vague or even just alluding, although it wasn't the greatest thing to say, being very vague about it, but maybe he's just not saying anything.
Yeah.
And how great would it be if he's like, hey guys, listen, Night King, right over us. Wait.
Yeah.
They're on hold.
Yeah.
Like that. What fun is that?
That is true. Look, I get it. If Brandon was just like, yeah, listen, like, yo, the Night King is not coming, dog. Like, he went to King's Landing. They would all just kind of like abort.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
But when,
then why even give Bran these fucking powers of knowing everything if he's not gonna use it and tell people?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, hey, like, do you think we should be in the God's Word or should we be here? Bran's like, I don't know, man. Figure it out. It's like he's like the conch in SpongeBob. He's like, maybe later. Like,
no.
Bro,
But they're all Squidward or whoever Squidward when he
they're
pulls
it.
Just, no.
Then we got Jaime and Tyrion's scene, which isn't really all of that. But they're just like chatting it up. I guess they're both coming to an agreement that Cersei is a tyrant. She's fucking batshit crazy. And Tyrion's like, yeah, but dude, you knew that she was a hateful person, but you still loved her.
Right.
And Jaime was like, what did he say? He was like,
he said she uses the truth to tell lies.
He was like, why did God make me love such a hateful woman? I think that's what he said with Tyrion.
Yeah.
And I thought about that and I was like, yeah, but Jaime was also kind of a hateful man back in the day too, so it was like love at first sight. It worked out for them.
Yeah, that's it. Straight out the womb.
And then Tyrion's like, this was pretty funny. He was like, we're gonna die at Winterfell. And I was like, yo, that's so funny. Because like everybody's kind of like, even at the campfire or like, the fireplace, they're all just kind of like waiting for their imminent doom. And they're just like, listen, we're gonna fucking die. We're definitely fucked. And that's kind of what Tyrion's thinking right now.
It's also like a testament to us seeing them act like brothers again. Jaime's like, oh.
Well, it looks like obviously Jaime is overlooking the fact that his father died. So obviously they're cool about that now.
That's that whole relationship thing they were trying to build on this episode.
Everybody's building more on the relationship because they know somebody's gonna die tomorrow. So, and for the viewers it just sucks more because you're watching these relationships flourish only for one of them to die. Like Grey Worm and Missandei is a good example, which we're going to get into in a little bit too.
But another thing with that scene too is that Jaime pretty much confirms Cersei's pregnancy.
Oh, he says that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
when they
that.
were talking about the baby. Maybe
that
was a little further.
He was like, oh yeah, nope, she still has the baby. Yeah, I remember that.
Something to live for, and then he pretty much confirms it, and that's when he says she uses the truth to lie.
Yeah.
And then I think that was like crazy too, because that also shows that Cersei's gonna use her relationship with him to say that, oh, this is his baby. This is
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like her really cutting ties with Jaime and saying like you left me. She's obviously sad about it. She was pretty much crying, sipping that wine in the last episode. But
she was crying. Damn, I didn't look into that.
She wasn't crying, but she was a little.
She was upset.
A little teary-eyed.
She's literally like that meme where it was like crying face, but like the mask all over.
Yeah,
She's literally that right now.
So maybe her and Dany aren't that far apart right now because Dany's losing control too. But she can't show anybody.
Are you the one that told me that she could potentially be the Mad Queen or something?
I love her with all my heart, so I'm just trying to be super unbiased with everything I say.
No, I am too. No, trust me. I
rooting for her so hard. And there was something too that Emilia Clarke said, the girl that plays Daenerys, something that she said in an interview is that she was upset with the way, or she was upset with the taste that Daenerys is going to leave in their mouth, like in the audience's mouth by the end of the show.
Ooh, she said that?
Yeah.
Oh, so God. You know what's funny? Peter Dinklage also said something about him being in love with Dany.
On 60 Minutes? Was that it?
I think so. I don't know. But he did say something about like Tyrion is in love with Dany, or at least he thinks he does.
Right.
So that scene when Jon and Dany are having sex and Tyrion is in the corner watching the room, it's because
being a Bran,
but it's
foreshadowing.
If that's what Peter is saying, then no, not that it's foreshadow. I'm just saying like I think Tyrion might be secretly in love with Dany or something, but I don't see it. But if fucking Peter Dinklage is saying it, then like I believe him.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Okay, do you want to get into this Brienne thing? So Jaime and Brienne, Jaime's watching Brienne. He cuts off Tyrion and goes to see Brienne. Podrick is huge as fuck right now. He's big. He's not a knight. I don't even know if this man is still a squire right now. But obviously he looks like he's gotten past the whole like being this wimpy little kid. To somebody that's learned a lot from Brienne's skillmanship, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Jaime's like, he's come a long way, and Brienne's like, he's still got a lot to learn. That could be ambiguous. It could be them talking about Podrick, or it could be them talking about Jaime. You know, saying, Jaime, you know, you have come a long way, but you still haven't really fully redeemed yourself to be this super humble, you know, guy, or the complete opposite of what you were before.
Right.
And then they have this conversation about who's defending what, and Jaime's like, listen, I'm not the fighter that I used to be. Mm-hmm. Because Jaime was seen as like supposed to be like the best swordsman in all of Westeros, right? He's the Kingsguard and all this stuff. But the man lost one hand. So like, he's like, listen, I'm not the fighter I was anymore, but I want to fight for you though, you know, because I love you. And Brienne's like, what's that? You know. All right, then we have Jorah and Dany. So Jorah is, this is interesting. So Jorah goes up to Dany and says like, listen, you know, when you made Tyrion the hand of the king, I cried. And then I went into my room and jerked off because I'm still in love with you, Dany. And Dany's like, damn, I didn't know that, fam. And then he was like, but listen, look, Tyrion has fucked up a lot. But the thing is, he's admitting that he's fucked up. And he really wants to be there right for you. And I think you should keep him as a hand of the king because I believe that he's going to prove himself to you. And we as viewers are hoping that he does as well because he's fucked up many times. But that's just really interesting because if you remember throughout the entire series, I mean, like, Jorah was like this selfish asshole who, like, anytime Dany had any other advisors, like the guy that she had sex with, and then I forgot his name. Dario. When Dario is one of her trusted advisors and Barristan is one of her trusted advisors, Jorah would always like pull her to the side afterwards and be like, listen, I think you should really like be careful who you trust and stuff. And it's like Jorah of all people saying that. Jorah was the one that was manipulating her and, you know, selling off her, everything that she's doing to Varys and stuff. So it's really nice to see that for once he's not thinking about himself. Yeah. And he's thinking for Tyrion to try to get Tyrion as, you know, back as the hand of the king and stuff like that.
Right. Like he's no longer putting himself, you know, like doing things to favor himself.
And being selfish, exactly, yeah. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah. And he also tells her to go talk to Sansa, and that's what leads us to the next scene of Dany and Sansa, who are probably in the series right now, is probably the two of the most strongest women in the entire series as of right now. And
Rima would disagree with you.
Why? He thinks Arya's in there?
He thinks Arya is the true Lady of Winterfell.
Oh, yeah? Let's just stare at the camera for that. Are you fucking serious?
Sorry, I just want to reiterate that Sansa and Dany are the strongest women.
The thing is, like, I hated Sansa for the longest time, and the reason I hated her, not now though, these past 2 episodes, not anymore, but I hated her because ever since she got, she picked Joffrey's side and got Arya's wolf killed. That stuck with me, man. I was like, yo, fuck you, Sansa. Yeah. But now it's like, you know, you could tell if anybody's the smartest woman, just like Arya said, it is Sansa. Sansa's the only person in all of Westeros that's thinking about the economics of Game of Thrones and worrying about how the fuck we gonna feed all these motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's really what we need to worry about.
No, seriously. You know, it's like nobody really thinks about that. And it shows how much Sansa has come a long way. Definitely shows how much Arya has come a long way in terms of maturity and stuff like that. So the whole reason Sansa is against Dany is because Sansa believes that Dany's manipulating Jon and exploiting his love to have him serve her when she becomes queen. And Dany was like, yo, listen, like, if anything, I feel like Jon is manipulating me, dude, like, because my entire journey, my entire existence since Jaime killed my dad was to come back and take the Iron Throne. And look where I am, fighting fucking zombies. I don't care about no goddamn zombies. I lost a dragon. I just want to sit my ass on the Iron Throne and kill Cersei. But I'm over here because Jon showed off his goddamn 6-pack. And then now I'm over here protecting Jon and loving him. So, like, who's really the person that was manipulated? Yeah. And Sansa was like,
she's not wrong.
Yeah, she's not wrong. And Sansa was even like, yo, touche, bro. But then Sansa's like, what happens afterwards? Because ever since Robb declared independence when he was fighting the Lannisters, we've been independent ever since. We sworn that we would never kneel to any other queen or king. So where's the North after this? And Dany's like, honestly, I want to unite you guys and make you guys all come under the 7 kingdoms again. I don't know if you agree with this, but Dany is kind of like a power hungry monarch in a way. Like she wants all the power to herself. Like when she's on the Iron Throne, you know damn well she's not gonna be like a Ned Stark. She's gonna be like, no, everybody has to report to me. Everybody has to see me as their superior queen. Everybody has to come to me for the power and stuff like that. And Sansa, I think, kind of sees that and sees how hungry and not desperate, but how far of lengths, Dany is trying to go to get this queen thing. And she just knows that there's going to be a lot more tension after the war, after this big battle with that. Yeah.
But what makes you think that when she takes the throne, it's going to be solely her being like, okay, you're all my direct reports now. Like, all of you need to come straight to me, when she's surrounded herself with people that are more than capable of handling that for her.
But that's the thing, though. Like, so with Dany, I don't know if it's... I can't really think of a specific situation, but majority of times when she ever took over a city or, killed somebody or anything like that, it was always because she wanted to be seen and acknowledged as the rightful queen.
Okay.
And it doesn't, and I compare it to somebody like Ned Stark, who's supposed to be like the most, or even Jon, who's supposed to be the most honorable person. You could just tell, like, if they were to ever take the Iron Throne, which is never, that they wouldn't be like, you have to see me as the king. I'm the rightful king that you should come to and report to and stuff like that. They would probably just be like, listen, I'm just here and make sure that everybody's living a happier life, and you could do whatever the fuck you want as long as you're not, committing treason or anything like that. But you could tell Dany is really like, it's not insecure, but self-conscious about wanting to have all the power.
But isn't that essentially what she did, though, when she went and took all those countries? She was like, you can continue to live your lives. Like, I freed you, you know, and you can continue to serve, but it must be under me. Like, you must realize that I'm your queen.
Right.
But it's not like she's saying, like, yes, I'm here now, this is mine, and you are mine sort of thing. It's she gives them the option. Not entirely, but, I felt like she's been pretty fair.
Yeah, I mean, so she's not like one of those, like, if you disobey me a little bit, I'm going to fucking kill you. But it's more so, like, you could tell she's not too confident about being a queen and letting people do their own thing. Like, she's gonna be super self-conscious.
Yeah.
She's very insecure about this whole power thing, and she just wants to be acknowledged as, like, I'm the queen, you report to me, and if you don't, I got 2 dragons and I'm gonna burn you alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wish I could, like, try to make my argument a little bit stronger by giving some examples of why I think that, but I don't know, man. It's the same reason why you might think that she might be the Mad Queen. For what reason?
Because they've spent the entire show saying she's not like her father. She's never going to be like her father. Don't worry. And the characters, like Tyrion, reassuring people, no, don't worry. Like, she's got good people to ground her. She's never going to be like him. But perhaps something happens, and she is the last one standing to take the throne, but perhaps something happens throughout the next 3 episodes that really just set her off and make her go mad.
Yeah, I feel like something in me tells me that Dany could easily be ticked off, and
exactly, like something just ticks.
But that's what's scary about why I wouldn't want Dany to be on the Iron Throne.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want her to be at that point either. But...
Right, and why I do feel like she wants to be like this super like power conscious like monarch where everything reports to her and she makes all the decisions and stuff like that.
And I guess we sort of saw that too remember when Yara came to her with Theon?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, listen, this will work out between us, but you need to completely change your way of life. To Yara, saying like you need to stop raping and stop, this way of life you've known your whole life. Yeah. And she was hesitant, but at the same time she was like, this is it's not like she's asking her to give up everything.
Right.
It's a reason.
She's asking for a reasonable thing, saying like, dude, don't rape people. Do whatever you want, just don't rape them. Yeah, I get that. I absolutely do get that.
But I think, like, back to the Dany Sansa thing, like, Sansa comes from... All that she knows is family and loyalty and Winterfell and taking back what was taken from her.
Yes.
But Dany is the same exact way, but with power.
Yes.
All she's ever known is power and the people that took it from her, and she spent her whole life trying to get it back. So they're very similar in that aspect of it.
Kinda.
They both had something that was taken away from them, and they want it back. And they're both being stubborn and getting there.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, but the big difference between Sansa, you can see Sansa's matured a lot, where she's like, well, I guess the only difference I could think of right now is that, you know, Dany wants to rule everybody. She wants the entire world looking at her.
Right.
Whereas Sansa's like, I don't give a fuck. I just want the North. I want to support the North.
Right.
I want to be for the North folks.
Right.
But Dany's like, no, everybody has to be under my rule. And you could even see why she's kind of like trying to be like a monarch, where she wants to be the one ruler. Because even Sansa is like, listen, we declared independence and we don't want to ever kneel to anybody, and Dany's having an issue with that.
Right.
And she's like having some sort of, you know, she's having this big thing where she's like, no, I don't think that's gonna work out.
I just think it's interesting though. I mean, like, they are so similar and they've lived such similar lives, but they really just are not seeing eye to eye.
No.
You know, and I agree. Like, I have not liked Sansa this whole time. And up until the last two episodes, because she's being, you know, as much as I love Daenerys and want to see her succeed and whatever, but she's being that reasonable shadow of doubt, saying like, hey, let's take a step back here for a minute. And
she's like the female version of her father. It's amazing. I'm talking about Sansa. She's literally like the female version of Ned Stark. Like, she's just this honorable. She's just thinking smart. Yeah. And it's amazing. Trust me, I hated Sansa for the longest time. But that's what the show was trying to do for the viewers, is like, we know you guys hated Sansa, but you have to understand, we're looking at her now, we all realize that, Sansa went through fucking hell in her life. Yeah. For her to be this cold.
I think we're all just starting to realize that she has a right to it. You know, she has a right to be that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Sansa's gonna die. I think the way she's handling everything and how just and caring she is about the North, I think she's gonna be the queen of the North for you know, after the show and stuff like that. So Reek shows up, and Reek is like, yo, like, I want to fight for Winterfell because, you know, I fucked over Winterfell before and, you know, betrayed you guys and pretended to kill Rickon and Bran. And so the thing about that is, like, I didn't know Sansa and Theon had such a big fucking close relationship like that. Like, I know like, he helped her escape, but like before that, like when that whole Ramsay thing was happening, like, she treated him like shit. Like, she was like, fuck you, like, you are a piece of shit, like, you killed my brothers, you fucking took over Winterfell, like, fuck you, bro, like, how could you live with yourself? And then, you know, he helped her escape from Ramsay. And even before, like, in the beginning, like, the first season and stuff, like, Theon wasn't really close to Sansa. No. He was cool with the boys. So, like, with the homies, bros. You know what I mean? With the bros, with the Wester bros. You know what I mean? But, like, but I don't see how Sansa and Theon are so close, you know? Like, where Theon's like, you know, Theon looks at Dany, he's like, yo, what up? And then he's like, I love you. I want to protect you in the Winterfell. And she's like, oh my God. And they're like hugging and shit. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, this is so over dramatic. Like, I did not know you guys were like that.
I don't know. Like, I agree. I feel like we didn't really see a reason for her to look at him and cry. Like, I get, you know, she looks at him and I guess that she's reminded of being saved from that life that was shit.
Yeah, that, you know, and like, I feel like every time she does see Theon, she thinks about her childhood where everything was good and everything was fun and everything was peaceful, and she thinks about her dad and all this stuff. Next scene is the common people and Davos. This is, I'm not gonna lie, man, this is actually one of my favorite scenes in the entire episode, because when do you ever see the common people being shown in the series or anything like that? Because so the scene is like, the common person comes up to Davos. Davos is giving food, and the person's like, yo, like, I'm not a soldier, and Davos is like, yeah, you are now. And it's just like it's just funny because you don't really think about the common people's perspective during war, because Game of Thrones is really the 1% of the kingdoms, right? It's all the rich people. And you know, the thing is, when the High Lords and the higher ups are playing their little Game of Thrones, it's the common people that are affected the most. And we see that firsthand. And this example especially is the common person's like, yo, listen, like, I'm not a soldier. Like, I don't know what the fuck, like, what am I doing? And Davos is like, well, you are now. Like, off you go fight the White Walkers. He's like, what the fuck is a White Walker? Like, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like, how is he supposed to make any decision at all? You know? And the thing about that is, right after we had that little girl who shows up, and, you know, Davos was really staring at her because she obviously doesn't. She looks like a young Gilly, which is why Gilly's there. But for Davos, it reminds him of a young of Shireen, right? Because she has like it's a burnt face, but it kind of looks like grayscale, right? And but it's not even that. That's what the viewers want you to see is like, you know, this little girl wants to fight in the crypts and blah, 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 all this stuff. But the way I saw it was like, yo, if she's fighting, that means there's kids that are fighting for Winterfell right now, which is really scary because you have men, women, and kids that are fighting. And that goes right back to the, you know, how the common people are affected by, you know, the fun antics that High Lords are playing in their little game of Thrones, no pun intended.
And that was another one of those scenes too where they reiterate that the crypts are safe.
Yeah. I saw this on Twitter. I retweeted. They were like, and that's what like Donald Trump and his stupid thing. Well, it's not what Donald Trump actually said, but it's like some guy acting like Donald Trump. He's like, the crypts are so safe. We know the crypts. The crypts are amazing. The crypts are safe.
Oh my
It's the safest place in the world.
That's
the
pretty
crypts.
much, yeah, that's pretty much it.
But the fact that they keep saying that, and obviously it's stupid with the trailer showing Arya running in the crypts. We don't need that, you know, because if they said that alone and not shown that Arya trailer, I would have still been like, something's going down in the crypts.
Yeah.
You guys are fucked. So maybe that, you know, obviously showing that little girl for whatever split second in the show, in the episode, shows that she's gonna have some sort of significance in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Maybe she might die protecting little Sam and stuff.
But did you also notice that no one took any of that bread? That
was a shitload of bread.
Big ass bread basket, and no one took a single piece.
Yeah.
I was livid.
Wasting fucking food, man. Like, who are they gonna give that
Sansa
to? The fucking
is
dragons?
Cringing somewhere.
Yeah. Yo, for real, like, imagine she like probably took out like this big ass loan from like the Golden Company, be like, yo, listen, we need food now.
Yeah.
And there's like all this food that's going to waste. She's gonna be pissed. She's like, Davos, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, that was funny. That's so funny that you noticed that though.
I was so mad.
Yeah, man, Sansa's gonna be pissed when Davos sees that shit.
Opening scene next episode is gonna be her.
He's just gonna give it all to Sam. He's gonna be like, Sam, scarf this down right now. Sansa's coming. You see Sansa coming down the crypts like, Sam, quick! It's like, all right, next scene is Ed the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, one of Jon and Sam's best friend. And Tormund, is the big woman still here? That was an amazing line.
Iconic.
Yeah, iconic Tormund. Just them saying like, hey, listen, like, you know, the army of the dead is past the last hearth and they caught up to the Umbers and stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, why did they send foot soldiers over to go check the hearth? Why didn't they just send a dragon to go scout the shit and then come back? Just save so much time just to fly over. Literally, Jon could just like, Jon knows how to ride. You know, he's watched How to Train a Dragon a couple times. He could literally fly over and be like, yup, arm the dead, and then just turn right back around, go to Winterfell and be like, yo, fam, they passed the last hearth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't get that. They're not utilizing these dragons. I don't even think they showed the dragons in the second episode, right?
They probably are starving somewhere. That's where we can put the bread.
That's where we gotta put the bread. All right, then we have the war planning. So this is actually a really important episode. I mean, important scene because they're planning on what they want to do when the Night King shows up, and now we know what the Night King's motives are. Finally, so
we think.
At least we think. Right. But this is what Bran is saying. You know, Bran is the I know it all guy. So apparently the Night King has actually not just Bran or the previous three-eyed raven, but he's been coming after all of the three-eyed ravens because essentially the Night King was created by the children of the forest to fight off the men, but then the children of the forest couldn't control them, and then the Night King turned around and killed the children of the forest for creating them and the men. So what they essentially want to do is they just want to kill off man as a species. And just like Sam says, he says, you know, death is forgetting and being forgotten, and your memories come from men. And if I want to erase every memory and everything that was known, I'd start with the three-eyed raven. And Bran, you know what I would do? I would just leave Bran in that wheelchair in the Godswood, because he's not going anywhere. It doesn't look like he could utilize his wheelchair to move anywhere. I'm going to leave his ass in the Godswood, and I'm going to be like, don't worry, Theon's going to protect you. I'm going to go up to Theon and be like, don't protect him. And then just leave Bran's bitch ass in the Godswood and let him die by the Night King.
I mean, he deserves it at this point, right? All those creepy stares. He'll probably scare the Night King off.
Maybe, yeah, that's what you said. Maybe that's why the Night King wants to kill Bran so much. Is like he just wants Bran to stop fucking staring at him so much.
Doing us all a favor.
Yeah, it might not even. You know what? For the Night King, it might not even be Bran staring. It might be the ravens he's warging into that's staring at him. You know, he's like warging into like the wolves and just fucking staring at him. Oh, whatever happened to Nymeria? Remember when Arya saw Nymeria that one time and then she started her own wolf pack? Yeah. She was like about to kill Arya, but then she had like that glimmer of like, oh yeah, I remember who you were.
Who knows? Maybe she'll just show up again like Ghost did.
Yeah, but I don't think Ghost is. So that's what I realized is that if a character has enough significance, enough lines in the show, they're going to die or something's going to happen to them. But they didn't even acknowledge Ghost. Like Ghost, literally, Ghost wasn't here for what, an entire season?
Yeah.
2 seasons?
Yeah.
And then he's just randomly in the background. I'm like screaming my heart out. I'm like, Ghost! And then he's just like kind of like there, just looking around, looking for the bread. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like what the fuck was up with that? You know, that'd be cool. Because in the books, John could work into Ghost.
Right.
He unconsciously does it. Yeah. So he does it in his dreams and shit. And another thing is with Bran, I don't know if it was the Three-Eyed Raven or if it was Jojen that told him, but he was like, "Yo, if you warg into something for too long, you could get stuck in that."
Right.
So if Bran wargs into one of the dragons or something, and then they kill off Bran, but fuck it, because he's in the dragon forever, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
But then you're gonna have the dragon staring at Jon every time Jon kisses Dany. You know.
Maybe that was Bran.
Maybe that was Bran. I thought it was the dragon just being like, "Yo, that's your auntie, dog." But like, yeah, it was probably Bran just staring at them. Yeah. Shit.
Damn.
Fuck, we're just uncovering all this shit right now. You know, that marking, we obviously knew about the marking on Bran, but it's obviously like a GPS tracker, you know. It's like the Night King has like Find My Friends on Bran at all times.
But he won't stop sharing his location.
Yeah. No, he has to share my location on like indefinitely. Yeah. So like he's fucked wherever he goes. So Bran wants to ultimately lure the Night King into the Godswood and then all of that stuff, but obviously we just talked about that. We don't even think the Night King is gonna show up and it's gonna fuck up all of their plans.
I don't know. I feel like Bran knows some shit that he's just not saying.
Yeah, he's being fucking annoying, dude. Like I said, I get it. He wants to keep the drama in the show. And they have 3-4 more episodes after this. So, you know what I mean? So, it's like, I get it.
Drama queen.
Yeah, seriously. You know what I mean? Like, John's like, hey, even Tyrion, right? Tyrion pulled him to the side. He was like, "Yo, what's good with you, bro? Yeah. Like, you gonna tell me anything?" And Brandon's like, "No, we have 4 more episodes. Like, ask me on the 6th one." You know what I mean? So, like, Arya asks if Dragonfire can kill them. Bran doesn't know. I thought about this for the longest time because in the 7th season when they had the little meeting with Cersei, that was a white that they burned. Right. Because Jon was like, there's 2 ways to kill them, dragonglass or fire. So I was like, the answer is yes, the dragons can burn them. And then when Jon was stuck in that little thing in the lake with all of them and the dragons came and burned all of them, was that because they burned them and they died, or was it because they burned the ice and they fell into the water?
That's a good question. I mean, we know fire can definitely do it, but it's, I guess the whole thing is dragon fire.
So I was thinking about that.
Like they reiterate
if dragon glass is supposed to be basically molten rock, super heated up rock, I would assume dragon fire could do something. Right,
but Bran says it's never been done.
Yeah.
So we know it can be done by fire, but dragon fire must be something different. You know, because he says it hasn't been done. And we saw fire too when when he walks up to him with the
flame sword.
Yeah. And that killed it.
The white.
Right, but you're right.
But maybe the White Walkers are different. I think
that's what the dragon glass is. Right.
That's what.
But I wonder if the dragon fire is different than regular fire.
Yeah. So I guess you know, but
because then that's a no-brainer.
Look at that. Bran doesn't fucking know anything for once.
So is it like I keep comparing this to Harry Potter. Is it like Bran is Harry Potter and the Night King is Voldemort? Bran says the Night King wants me. The Night King wants me. So
yeah, right. Same thing with Voldemort wanting Harry Potter. Yeah.
Right, and you know, I'm really curious to see if he really does fly straight over them, or if he goes, picks up Bran, destroys the hard drive, and just keeps going.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, like, if they kill everybody and not Bran, essentially Bran is like fucking dead anyway.
But there was another thing too that said, you know, this isn't the first time that the Night King has fought the people, right? The last time there was that big war, and the Night King is still there, and they came to that sort of treaty. They said that you'll exist beyond the wall and never interrupt us again, but obviously, I didn't even think it was that. I thought they actually they had a big war where the Night King came. Yeah. And then, now it's been like 2,000 years. And then the children of the forest. And they killed them off or something. No, they pretty much coexisted. And that's why, the wall was apparently built to keep the wildlings out. Yeah. And
the White Walkers. Yeah.
And they were really just supposed to coexist and say, like, okay, like, let's
Really?
Just live our lives like this.
Oh.
There was like some kind
I didn't
of
know
treaty.
there was like a fucking meeting.
Like a treaty.
They like sat down with the Night King.
They sat down under that tree.
They're like, so what do you want to do, bro? Like, this is he does. I don't even know if this man talks.
I don't know. I've read that somewhere, and I don't think he does either.
So how did they like that? That's interesting though. Is like if that's
like
true,
they came to an
agreement is like that's what I'm thinking is like so the way they had a meeting at Dragonstone, the Night King was there, and he was just like, so listen, this is what I want to do. Okay, we're tired of you killing our people. Okay, my army of the dead is 100,000 strong. I just don't want you guys to kill us anymore. Can we just have like an agreement where I'm beyond the wall and you guys build a wall and then keep us out?
Yeah.
And then the guys were like, yo, let's do it, bro.
Yeah, man, sign here.
Yes, sign right here. Yeah. And here's some bread, too. We have too much. We have too many. All right, cool. Then we have Missandei and Grey Worm. Racism at its finest. You know, they don't like a beautiful black woman in the North because they never seen a black woman in the North. And she's from Noth. And Grey Worm's like, listen, when we survive, I want to take you back to a place you'd be comfortable in. She's like, I want to go back to Noth. And he's like, baby, I'm all with you, okay?
Shorty, I will take you
Shorty,
there.
I will take you there. And, and that's about it. And, you know, anytime anybody's like, yeah, we're going to have a happily ever after, that's just ripe for a tragedy. And, you know, they're going to fucking die. Or one of them is going to die.
I think it's going to be Missandei.
You think Missandei's going to die?
I think the obvious thing would be Grey Worm because he's out and about.
Yeah.
But if she died,
it would be so cute if, like, you know, if Grey Worm brought her bones or something like that to Noth or something.
That's so cute.
That would be so cute. I would cry. Yeah, but it's really cool that they acknowledge racism in the episode, but they don't acknowledge sexism when Tormund's like, how come you can't be a knight?
I think the only way they really, not acknowledged it, but they were just sort of like, you know, screw that when Tormund said, you know, screw tradition.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was cool, man. That's not something that I would ever
especially
expect
coming from a wildling.
Yeah, and a wildling, right?
He will do anything.
But isn't that cool though? Isn't that cool though that all these people like that live in the kingdoms that's supposed to be so established and stuff, and a wildling, which they see as like these people that are just scattered, have no government, no rules, no kingdoms, nothing, is the one that's like, fuck tradition. We don't care about that. Like, yo, if you have a sword, you could fight. You're a fucking knight.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that was pretty interesting. Then they go into Jon Sam and Lord Commander, and you know they're making fun of each other, and you know they're just like, oh yeah, Sam is gonna fucking save us. The guy that fought a White Walker and has overdue books in the library is gonna fucking save us. Yeah, sure. The slayer of White Walkers and lover of ladies. Yeah, we're definitely gonna be saved now.
Yeah, that's it.
And then they're all just like, yeah, now there's just 3 of us. So I don't know if they're referring to their friendship or if they're referring to all of the Night's Watch, because the wall did come down. So I'm assuming if the army of the dead took the wall down and they got past Last Heart, I would assume that they just destroyed all of the Night's Watch.
They had to have.
But the thing is, like, the Night's Watch was like this thing where it's like it's been around for like centuries of years.
Were deep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this whole thing that was never gonna fall apart. It was like it's basically like the army for Westeros. You know what I mean? That's protecting the wall. But it's like, I guess, you know, it doesn't even matter when 100,000 Army of the Dead show up. And
but like even that last scene, like remember in what was that, season 7 with the dragon just going at the wall, when like really like how many people, a good chunk did not make it out.
Yeah, there's no way.
No way. No way.
I'm surprised Tormund actually survived that shit, bro.
Yeah,
I
know.
I don't know who's a faster runner, them or fucking Gendry, bro. They had to dip, run to wherever they made it to, Winterfell, whatever. Then we got Tormund and everybody sitting by the fire, having a fun campfire, and Tormund tells a story about killing a giant and suckling at the giant's girlfriend's titties. Teat. Yeah.
The word he uses is teat.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, yeah. Teeth. Yeah.
It's the most bizarre word.
And, you know, Tormund is supposed to be like this, you know, they made him to be like this barbaric, intimidating warrior. But they changed him up, and now he's just like a joker and an awkward weirdo that just wants to smash Brienne this one night. It's like, Brienne, come on, bro, just give it up. Tormund is so persistent. It's cute. She's not having it. Okay, all right. Jaime's not taller than Brienne. Tormund's the only one that's taller than Brienne. Tormund's the only one that could take Brienne, man. Okay? But, you know, if anything, look, if Tormund even had a sliver of chance with Brienne, he fucked it up when he was chugging that giant's milk down.
That was his way of, I guess, presenting himself to her.
Yeah, it's like him showing off, you know?
Like a mating call of some sort. Like this could be your tea, but you're playing
this
kind
giant's
of thing.
milk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why they call me Giant's Bane. You know what else is giant? And then she's just like, no, I don't want to know. Would you like bread? And then with your milk? Yeah. And then we have the Hound and Arya. And so this is really cute because, you know, they've basically, you know, before Arya went off and became a faceless assassin, you know, it was them that were kind of like building this bond. But it's really cute because they're like literally siblings. Like they never wanted to say I love you to each other.
Right.
But they like insult each other, mock each other to show that they really care. And she's just like, yo, like when have you ever fought for anybody but yourself? And he's like, I fought for you, didn't I? And then she definitely cried a little bit and left.
Like,
but yeah, you know, it just, you know, the Hound always felt like an outsider, you know, and felt like he was this misunderstood guy. And Arya feels the same way. I think Arya does also feel like an outsider and feels like she's misunderstood because she's this faceless death woman girl,
right.
you know, and nobody understands what she is anymore and what she's been through. And I feel like the Hound doesn't really know about it either. Nobody does, but he's the only one that could kind of understand in a way because he feels like an outsider as well. And that's why they're so close.
Right.
But yeah, what's after that?
Your favorite scene?
Oh, God. Yeah, so, okay, then we have Arya and Gendry, Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, so this is what I was talking about. So she's shooting bows and arrows, right? And I'm just saying, like, I must have missed the part where Arya was, like, a fucking master at everything. Like, I didn't know this was included in the Faceless Man training, that she was supposed to be... Let's go through the list. A master of stealth, a master of throwing dragonglass daggers at perfect precision at the wall. She could detect lies. She's a master of archery, as we could see. She could play the game of faces. She could recover magically from stab wounds and bravos. She could spin her staff around. She could fight in the dark. And also, how does a conversation about leeches sucking blood lead to, yo, Gendry, you trying to fuck? Like, I don't know where it's like. He's like, yeah,
did
listen.
something for her.
Yeah, it was like, she's like, so how many? And he's like, leeches that suck my blood? She's like, no, how many is your body count, fam? And he's like, I don't know, 3. But you know what J. Cole said? He says she only fucked like 4 or 5 hitters, so you know you gotta multiply by 3. He's lying. You know what I mean? All right, so they have sex. That was disgusting. But he also notices the stab wounds on her body the same way Dany notices stab wounds on Jon, which is pretty interesting. And I don't know, this is me thinking too much, but there was like a duality of like, you know, death and life. Like the first scene was them talking only about death. Like, what are the whites like? You know, what do you know about death? It's like, I know death. Trust me, it has many faces. Right. And then the next scene that they hang out is sex, and sex is supposed to be like love and life and creating life and light. Whereas the first scene was dark and gloomy and death and stuff like that. So that was just something that I noticed. Yeah, then we go to the fuck the tradition thing, and you know that was really cute that Jaime, of all people, was like, no, listen, only, I don't know if you know this, but like a knight is, you don't need to be a king to make a knight. A knight can make a knight. So come here, I'll make you a knight. And all the things he says, like, you know, I charge you to be brave, I charge you to be just, I charge you to defend the innocent, is all the stuff that Brienne is. Like, she's probably the most honorable person in the entire series. Right. Which is why her arc revolves all around her being a knight. Then we have Jorah and Lyanna Mormont and Sam. And Jorah is supposed to be Lyanna's uncle, I believe. Cousin. She says cousin, yeah. And I'm surprised that Lyanna wasn't like, yo, I don't fuck with you, Jorah, because you know, were exiled for selling slaves and fucking up our family name. But she obviously doesn't care. Jorah's just looking out for her because he's like, listen, you are like 11 years old. Like, what do you know about fighting, dog? And she's like, bruh, I know more than you, okay? I'm leading the Mormont family, unlike you.
You friend-zoned ass bitch.
yeah, what the fuck? Go cry in a corner about Dany, you loser. And Jorah's like, okay. And Sam gives him his family sword, Heartsbane is what it's called. You know, that he took from his dad. And I was like, why would he give Jorah that? But it's because, so like the whole reason Sam went to the Night's Watch was because his dad was like, listen, you're too fat, you need to go. And then,
no more bread.
Yeah, he was, literally, like, he was like, listen, I'm tired of you stealing all of our bread, okay? Like, you need to go and fight for the Night's Watch or I'm going to kill you. And the only other father figure that actually treated him like a son was Jeor Mormont, which is Jorah's dad. So he has that relationship with Jorah. Even though Jorah's dad had more scenes with Jon and stuff like that, because Jeor Mormont was the one that gave his family sword to Jon, and Jon tried to give it back to Jorah, but Jorah was like, listen, I can't redeem my family like that, sorry. So Sam gives his family sword to Jorah, and Jorah's like, I'll take this. Mainly because, you know, damn well, Sam is not going to be able to use that goddamn sword anywhere.
He admits to it.
Yeah, then Podrick is, you know, plot twist in the whole show. Podrick can actually sing his ass off. And he sings this song called Jenny's Song. It's supposed to represent like lost love. So while they're singing that, you see Arya. You know, Arya's looking like a girl is disappointed. You know, laying in that bed with Gendry. But it shows Arya and Gendry, then it shows Missandei and Grey Worm, then it shows Jaime and Brienne, then it shows Jon and Dany. And, you know, it's all this like about the relationships that have been built up this entire 8th season. Only to literally have it all broken apart. Tragically broken apart during the next episode. Tell me what you thought about Dany and Jon's amazing little conversation.
I thought it was riveting. I thought it was the way it was like perfectly done. He was standing in front of his mom's
Lyanna.
You know, statue in the crypt, and it was just really well done.
Yeah.
And I feel like her reaction, like, you know, his mind is going to 1,000 different places at 1,000 miles an hour, and he's really not thinking about he doesn't even want to sit on the Iron Throne. He's been handed power his entire life, and he's like, please just fucking stop with this. Like, I don't want it. Yeah. And, you know, for her, he's telling, like, saying all these things that he found out in his history and how he's trying to handle it, and all she heard was, so you're the claim to the Iron Throne. You're the heir. Yeah. You're the true heir. Yeah. He's like looking at her like, are you kidding?
Yeah,
this is what you took from what I just said to you, you know?
He made. Yeah. He was like,
it's like that really meme of the guy going,
oh yeah,
literally what Jon did.
That's meme. Yo, seriously, that's really what it was. Yeah, no, seriously, like, you know, he's like, yo, like, you know, I'm a Targaryen, I'm Aegon Targaryen. She's like, that makes you the fucking next male heir to the throne. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, no, that's not what I told you this about. Like, bro, I love you. Like, what the fuck? I told you this because we are having sex and you are my aunt. And she's like, I didn't hear anything you said. I don't care. You have the Iron Throne claim. And then he's just like, what the fuck?
He's like dealing with, I mean, since he found out, he's just been in such a mood. Not a mood, but like it's obviously affected him. Yeah. And how he's acted towards her, and he's just been avoiding her this entire time because he needs to accept his entire life was a lie. Yeah. His literal life was a lie. Exactly. You know, so like that's what he's accepting, and that's what he's telling her. Yeah. And she's just like, oh, that means that you have more power than I do. Exactly. You're entitled to more than I am.
But now do you understand why I say that Dany is like a freaking power-hungry monarch in a way? Is because that's all she fucking cares about.
But think about it too, is like she has spent the entire
her entire
show.
Arc.
Her entire thing is
show
her.
Is becoming
but it's not like she was handed the power. She got it back. She did.
She fought for it.
She did. And it's like in this moment too where she realizes like, okay, I really have lost control. I really am losing it. Everything that I've fought for and worked for this entire 8 seasons, I'm losing. Yeah. You know? So I really wonder how that's going to affect their relationship. And I guess, you know, they wind up on top of the watchtower together. Yeah. And at that point, they're in game mode, you know? Yeah. But it's just really interesting, that conversation and the way that she handled it. Like, you really see in her face, like, she's not showing emotion, but she's just very blankly saying, okay, it's you. It's not me, it's you.
And she's pissed. Yeah. She's fucking pissed.
You know it.
Yeah. I mean, she went through literally, like, the same amount of hell that Sansa has gone through to get to this. Dany has gone through fucking hell. She lost a child. She lost Khal Drogo. She lost
She's been sold.
She's been sold.
Yeah.
She's That's been what I'm saying. So much shit to get to this fucking Iron Throne. And it even goes back to the conversation with Sansa where she's like, yo, if anything, I'm being manipulated by Jon. Like, I was supposed to get to the Iron Throne by now, but I'm over here fighting the fucking dead. Like, are you serious? And now Jon's hit her with this news, and she's just like, damn, I'm not having this. Like, I'm done with this. Like, fuck you.
She doesn't
I went through
know,
all of this, and now you're gonna have the nerve to tell me that you have the throne over me? Mm-hmm. Fuck you, dude. I actually completely understand it. I get why she would be mad, and I get why she would.
So it's like the same reasoning, like you just said it yourself, with Sansa. Like, her entire life, they lived very similar lives with, you know, dealing with being, you know, like Sansa was raped and in these abusive relationships, and Daenerys at one point was living that same life. Yeah. They both went through these incredible hardships. Sansa finally got Winterfell back, and it, you know, in the wake of being taken from her. And she doesn't want that.
Yeah.
And now Dany's in the wake of the throne being so close to her fingers and it being taken from her again.
Yeah.
So it's like their paths are so similar to each other, which is also probably why they're clashing so hard.
And this is also what I was talking to Brahma about, was like, Jon is fucked either way, because if he takes the throne, then the Northerners are going to be like, yo, I thought you were going to be for the North. You're supposed to be this humble, honorable guy like your father, or Ned Stark, whatever. But then if he doesn't take it, then Dany's going to take it, and then they're going to be like, yo, fuck you. You know what I mean? So there's no way he's going to win either way with this situation. But yeah, I mean, I think this scene really helped out, not mainly because Jon was breaking the news to her, but just based solely off of her reaction.
Right.
And how she's going to take it. And how literally Jorah earlier in the episode was like, stop creating tension.
Yeah.
This is not the time for drama and tension. Go fix shit with Sansa. She does that, and then she comes back to this.
Right.
Which is going to go right back to Sansa, and it's going to be, now she's going to have fighting, she's going to be fighting Jon and Sansa at the same time. Too much drama for them to be dealing with when they should be focusing on these White Walkers that show up, which is the very last and next scene. Like I said, there's definitely a lot more White Walkers than I've fucking noticed before.
Yeah.
A lot more. And, Jon and Dany are on, like, some other, like, section of Winterfell. They're, like, looking, from a distance.
Whatever wall that is, right? Like that watchtower or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was a watchtower. I thought they were just... Yeah, it could be a watchtower, or it could be just, like, some random hill. How did they get there? They obviously used a dragon or two to get there. So it's like, bruh, utilize your dragons, okay? Your children are literally made on this earth to burn people alive. Use them, please, okay? But I guess we're gonna find out. Obviously, what I'm thinking is, like, they're not gonna use the fucking dragons because, it's gonna fucking ruin the whole, like, dramatic scene of what the war is supposed to be. Because, like, if they use dragons, I feel like the war is gonna be done in, like, 5 seconds. Right. But if they use foot soldiers, then it's like, then we get to see these people dying, and then we get to see it, prolonged to like an hour and a half and stuff like that. So
remember that back to that loot train battle. We thought that war was going to be over in a split second, but it wasn't. And that also goes back to what Samuel had said to Jon. Like, would Dany fight for you? Would she fight for her? Like, would she do the same? Would she bend the knee
for you? Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, if you think back to that exact scene, like, we saw her get on a dragon, risk her life, and go fight for her people.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, she had a dragon with her then. They were, the Lannisters were obviously outnumbered. And she still almost died.
Yeah.
Drogon got
I think
hit.
that's, yeah.
You know what I mean?
So now that I think about it, it's like, the first time she did it, she almost lost her dragon.
Right.
Second time she did lose a dragon.
Right.
So now she's just like, fuck that. Like, I'm about to just put these things back in the keep that she did in like that one entire season.
But like, they can't say that she didn't risk her life, number one. But number two, it's like, you think that the dragons would do all this damage, but at the same time, that one dragon in that relatively small battle did a lot of damage, but obviously not all of it.
No, seriously, like, if the Night King can hurl that spear perfectly, how do we know the other White Walkers can't do that shit?
Exactly.
And then I think if I remember in the last scene in this episode, I think they were all holding spears, right?
They were.
Bro, they were ready for that shit. They're like looking for the
dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. But no, I mean, like, earlier, now that I think about it, I get that. She's traumatized. She's like, no, I brought my dragon to the loot train attack. I almost lost one with those scorpion things, like the crossbow scorpions. And then the second time, I did lose a fucking dragon. Right. So there's no way I'm
gradually, like, they're effective, but like maybe not what they
need. Like, the one slip up and they could have been done.
Especially if there's another dragon that they're fighting against now.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know, back to that again, you don't know how, Drogon and Rhaegar are going to react.
And that scene of when she did lose Viserion, I think Viserion, when she was like getting everybody to come on and then to like fly away, he almost hit that dragon too. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, we don't see the Night King. Assuming that he derailed, went to King's Landing, he was like, fuck that. I'm not going to deal with you guys. He's probably going to burn King's Landing all to the ground. And probably gonna grow some whites over there, and this is gonna like kind of prolong the
it's like an accordion season. Yeah,
for real.
It's just all gonna like, Bran will just be in the middle of it all and just be like, he's not coming, just like some shit like that, and just be like, he's not coming.
Yo, Jon and Dany are like screaming in like the middle of the battle. They're like, where is the Night King? And Bran's like, yo, wait, I forgot to tell you guys, he didn't show up. And they're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
And then they just like throw Bran into the fucking army. They're like, just take him, please. Yeah. Oh my god. No, there was like a meme. It was so funny, dude. Oh my god. Oh god. Can we just
Was it the person with the rock climbing wall and the person just being brought down and it was like them luring the Night King?
Not even that. There was one funny one where it was like it was John and Danny's conversation, and John was like, yes, I am Aegon Targaryen. And Danny's like, who told you that? And he's like, Brandon. The next thing is like the wheelchair on fire. Yeah. Yo, these memes, internet. Like my Twitter is amazing.
I know.
I only for the past 2 days were just Game of Thrones tweets.
I look forward to it.
Fucking hilarious, dude. What are you expecting for the last episode?
The last one or the
next one? Next one. What do you think is gonna happen? Other than, I mean, do you think that the Night King is gonna go to King's Landing, or?
I don't know. I think it's an excellent possibility. You know, like we didn't see Cersei at all this episode, right?
No.
So
last time we saw her was Euron.
Maybe they're having tea. Who knows? Maybe they're working together. And then she gives that what is that? The crossbow to Bronn. So we don't know anything that's happened after that.
Yo, I just want you to fucking have a good laugh. All right. It's Arya writing down the names of the 3 other girls Gendry has been with before banging him. It's just him fucking writing shit. Oh my god. Oh, here's a good one. What is this? Oh, this is the one you're talking about. Yeah. I really love the subtle foreshadowing in Game of Thrones last night. No place in Winterfell is safer than the crypts. All the women and children are in the crypts because of how safe they are. Nothing will happen to them down there in the crypts. The safest place in Winterfell. Oh, here we go. The crypts. Wait, can you do the accent?
No.
No. Do you watch do you watch Trevor Noah's Daily Show?
Not always, but I've seen it.
He's amazing at the
he's so
fucking
good.
accent. It's like, I love the crypts. We have the best crypts. Someone asked me about the crypts, and I said, we have the safest crypts. But yeah, based off the trailer where Arya's running for her life in the crypts, I think it's pretty certain that there's something that might go down there. The dead in the crypts come back. The whites make their way down there, maybe something like that.
The dead in the crypts have to, especially. Oh yeah.
Then you take another right, and Winterfell should be on your left wing. Yo, people are so stupid. Yo, these are so funny.
I know.
Oh, no, the funny one about this one is there was one where it's like the people on the elevator try to close the door on you, but you make it in there. Yo, so Tormund, when he sees Jaime chatting up Brienne,
they come up.
Arya on their way to what is this? Oh, this is supposed to be... Even this kind of shocked me, is that next week's Battle of Winterfell is going to be the biggest battle in TV history. I mean, that makes sense. We got 20,000 unsullied people fighting. We got another 10,000 Dothraki horsemen. Yeah. That's the thing. I didn't even notice the Dothraki in the 2 episodes.
No, me either.
But they're supposed to be in like the front line.
Didn't they show like an aerial shot of all those tents that were set up?
Yeah.
Is that where we saw them? Okay.
Yeah, and the war planning thing, like all those like dots or whatever is supposed to be the... and even in the trailer for the next episode, you'll see the horsemen in the front. So, oh God, please, Jesus Christ. Everybody, the Night King is coming. Arya. I got mad. I was like, stop this, please. I can't do this.
That one was the...
Sansa, what about the North? Daenerys. Oh, yeah, her end. Yo. Oh, my God. Was it Jon Snow to Daenerys is all like, I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. I can't talk right now. Oh, God. If Jaime don't get a fist made out of dragon glass and start falcon punching White Walkers, I'm sending someone an angry email. Seriously, honestly, I don't see why they don't. Like, they had dragon glass everywhere. Yeah. They had it stuck up on like fucking walls and shit. Yeah. Apparently, there's supposed to be like a mountain underground in Dragonstone of dragon glass. Hence why they're able to make so many fucking weapons and stuff.
You know what I didn't realize too? Did you see those giant wooden... like spears.
Yeah.
Those had spears of dragon.
Yeah, I know. They stuck them everywhere. That. No, so the funny thing about this is that when oh God, the Night King versus Lyanna Mormont. That's funny. No, so so when Tyrion and Jaime are talking, when he was like, "Oh, when I'm 80, I wish I died," right?
Right.
On that ledge, there was fucking dragon glass up there. So I'm thinking like, what is this, like some World War Z shit where like the zombies are so smart that they could climb up on each other to get up on them? And what would happen if they do like Like one of the whites grabs onto the ledge, but it's really a dragon glide, so they just automatically shatter?
Pretty much.
Okay. That's enough for me. Oh, I think it's time we start seeing other people. Arya, pulling out her faces. Who you want to see? Yes. Yo. All right, last one before we end this. Oh, yes. John, my real name is Aegon Targaryen. Danny, who told you? Bran. Next episode, it just burns. Oh my god. Oh, these are hilarious. Have you been seeing these?
No.
It's bitches, god. House, a plan, money, pregnant. Oh yes. Arya to Gendry. Oh my god. Oh yes, a girl is disappointed. Oh god. Brain watching. Arya getting the hammer in the crypt. Jesus Christ. Yo, people are insane. Jesus Christ. Yeah, man. So that is episode 2 of season 8. Mm-hmm. The next episode is obviously going to be the Battle of Winterfell. So how long is it supposed to be exactly? It's supposed to be like...
Is it 82 minutes?
Okay. So it's supposed to be like 20 minutes more than what the original thing is. I feel like we've had a few 80-minute episodes though, right?
Maybe last season.
Yeah, like Battle of the Bastards is probably long or something like that. Yeah, it was a bit,
right? You know? I think so.
I'm fucking looking forward to it. I'm gathering everyone and anybody that watches Game of Thrones. And I don't care if you're the 1%. You know, Sissy, honestly, you know, between you saying you're a vegan and you saying that you're the 1% that watches Game of Thrones, which comes first? Which one would you have to tell me first? Because it doesn't matter. Either way, I don't care. Yeah. I don't care if you're the 0.00001% that doesn't watch Game of Thrones. I'm excited for episode 3. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we could watch it together. Yeah. And of course, before you end it, give me, again, brief overview of what you thought about the episode and what you think is going to happen in the next episode. And then give them your Twitter and Instagram handles and stuff like that.
A nice little plug at the end.
Yeah.
I thought even the last 2 episodes were just what we needed. You know, I feel like the writers did everything that they did on purpose. I feel like they really gave us, again, the comedic relief. They gave us the tie-ins with the relationships and the reunions and everything that we've just sort of been questioning that wasn't really super important to the storyline and the plot, but, you know, that we were all really happy to see. Yeah. And sort of let everyone understand that this is the end. Like, this is, like, everyone knows how doomed they are, and I feel like a lot of it, we had to see it. They had to get it out of the way, and I thought they did an excellent job in really tying everything together. I don't think they dragged anything out, and I mean,
given that the books didn't even make it this far.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought the writers did an excellent job in really just answering all the questions, tying everything together, but still leaving some things unanswered. Yeah. Which is definitely huge, you know? So going into this battle, I'm sure we all expect everyone to die. I think at least, you know, out of everyone that we saw on Sunday, I feel like at least half of them have to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, just to end it off.
But I really wonder, I think my whole thing that I keep thinking about too is where everyone's going to be placed. Like, is Arya going to be, she's going to want to be on the battlefield, but how does she wind up in the crypts? And like just over-analyzing really that preview for the next episode.
If that whole Cersei thing is true about the faces, like how is she going to end up in King's Landing, honestly, too? That's another thing.
But like, where's Daenerys going to be? You know, like it's just, I wonder, and I really wonder how it's all going to play out. And I feel like once it starts, it's not going to stop for 80-something minutes straight.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that's the second it starts all the way to the end, it's just going to be nonstop battle.
I'm just like
and it's
out
going
of
to be
breath
so overwhelming. Because think about it, like, remember when you watched Battle of the Bastards? It was overwhelming.
I sat like this.
Yeah.
That entire episode.
And, or that one part where Jon is like practically gasping for air when he was under that pile of dead people. Is like, can you imagine that happening again? Yeah, and I felt that. I was like gasping for air.
I wasn't breathing. I was like, I got you. I'm not breathing
I'm
either.
here with you, bro. Yeah, so that was amazing. That was their biggest battle before, but this is like monumentally fucking bigger. It's going to be fucking huge. 80 entire minutes straight of just fighting.
It's going to be
constant fighting and dying.
I feel like the people that were just like, oh, why didn't I get it? You know, why didn't we get the action this time? It's like they did it for a reason. I have full faith they did it for a reason. So we won't be disappointed. Yeah. We will be, but we won't be.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime. Give your Instagram and stuff if you feel whichever one you would want them to know.
You can follow me on Instagram at Lace My Shoes.
Yes.
And then my Twitter is Lacy, but it's LAAC why. So if you want to see any of those memes, I retweet them a lot too.
So if you guys made it this far, thanks for watching. This is No Comment. My name is Akil, and that's Lacy. And peace out.